Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with Darth Mod. We're playing as the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and last time we took over Hanover, securing our western flank, and so now we share border with our allies, the Dutch. And we've also seized Prague during an auto-resolve, which means that Dresden finds itself sandwiched in between our forces. Not only that, it carries no extra troops besides the ones that are just generated. I was about to make a mistake there. Having selected all the troops, if I had clicked on the general button, I would have gotten a general for each unit, which would have been silly. What we need is, I just need to lay a little bit of a siege on Dresden, just so that they are not able to recruit any troops. You know what? It actually puts me quite well in my favor. I wonder if the demand surrender will work. They refused. I will not do auto-resolve because this army would surely lose troops in the way that this works. So instead we'll just lay a siege, make sure that they are not able to recruit any troops, and there's no one really able to get through there. I mean, there's a river crossing here, but there's no roads and there's a big forest, so no troops would be able to relieve the siege before this army has replenished and would be marching on Dresden, easily taking it out. And then again, I believe most Austrian troops at this point is probably conversing towards the capital instead, since their Austrian war effort is failing on all fronts. Now, they did kinda force us back here. Not really force us back. Time ran out, and I wasn't able to defeat all of these bastards. But they have not been able to replenish since then. And I do think we have a good chance of wiping them out. We did a little bit of an advance, I think last, maybe last video, but somewhere around there. So the army with the winged hussars advanced and took Split again, and they should be able to pounce on these. But I think the more important and the more stronger enemy is the one now located in Zagreb, in Croatia, and that will also take control of this fishery which the enemy navy is situated in. It's actually quite good admiral in command of that. Is the... oh, it's the Papal States that are laying siege to the only trade port that Austria has. That's a major blow, that the Pope comes in from nowhere. And, well, maybe not nowhere, but that he comes and takes over all their trade. Just kills off everything. 13 colonies, New Spain, Spain, Portugal, Denmark, and so on. Although, I mean, Denmark isn't really that much of a trade partner, is it? They've just got Iceland. Is there anything here? They've got farmland over here. I mean, fish, I guess. That's about it. It's not like you can find that anywhere else in Europe. They are building quite a bit of a dockyard there. The Danish could be looking to try and retake. What a hobbled force of ships! Brigs, bombkish, privateers, some war galleons and stuff. Probably not even replenished either. There's probably mangled crews as well. Nothing compared to our navies protecting the strait. But enough of that. We're not going to go over and check at Russia. So I think what we'll do today is we'll march out of the fort at Kaljuk. I don't know how you pronounce that. And attack the enemy. Now we have a smaller force. But we do have some impressive artillery. The enemy has a lot of artillery though. A lot of cavalry. It'll be a... why did I click there? It'll be an interesting fight. So we'll march out of the fort, we'll take that, and that'll kind of cut off their retreat. Not really. But, I mean, across the road, they wouldn't be able to retreat, and then the Hussar army would destroy them. But I'm pretty sure if they are to retreat, they'll probably retreat around that somehow. But that will destroy really the only major force the Austrians still has. Not really, we've got one over here. Two, kinda. But that's far from where they need to be at the capital. So without further ado, we'll have General Sadislav Fudal move out of camp and attack the enemy at Zagreb. Holy moly! They have 9,000 men in the starting army, and then they are replenished by every single little bastard there is, seemingly. Which comprises of... what I can see, it's hard to tell. Is it another 9,000 men, I assume? It seems so. So I imagine these troops are moving into aid the town somehow, which we don't like. So we definitely need to cut down those 9,000. What are the other armies that are able to join in? I'm guessing it's all down south here. So I guess change of plan, we'll destroy these guys first and wait with this one. So the Hussar will advance, and most likely it's going to be intercepted by the enemy. It's not going to be intercepted. Then I really would like to strike the biggest force here, which would be the one at port. But since that's not going to be possible, we're going to strike the next big thing, which I believe would be this one, even though it's got most units. But it's kind of broken down, so we'll go for the middle one then. And that should give us an army like this. So we'll find 1,000 men, and then they have 6,000 in reinforcement. And that will severely stop the troops up here. So we'll not face 18,000 men, but instead we'll face just the 9,000 that are up there. So that'll be good. Now we actually got an even chance. So, oh, and we get reinforcement from our besieging army if necessary. Hopefully it won't. So without further ado, let's go ahead and draw into battle and fight the Austrians in one very crucial battle. It seems as though we have come upon the enemy during a very foggy day. They hold a town up on a hill, and they have kind of an impressive feature on the map here, which is a large amount of unpassable terrain going straight down the middle, leaving a very small area over on the left where we can actually pass to get up onto the hills of this bit right here, roughly, which could be a very dangerous choke point, possibly. So we're gonna opt for going through here, which I think the impassable terrain kind of stops here, but it seems like it might even possibly continue up here. But we have a lot more ground cover on that side. So we've got most of the infantry, most of the fresh infantry, 300 men each, plus 2 units of line infantry guards backing them up, and they're gonna try to cross up the hill and swing around and attack them in the town. We've got weaker units, the ones that have been depleted as we took Split. These have been posted just in case the enemy goes ahead and sends out cavalry to try and take out our cannons, which are placed here. We've got the normal bore cannons, and then we've got the howitzers down here, ready to blast that hill to hell. And we've got the Grenadier Guard regiments stationed here in reserve, ready to be pushed in if they're needed on either side. General over there. I've hidden all of my winged hussars in the forest over there because they usually take quite a bit of damage. I don't think they can actually hide. They should have that little hide symbol. Yeah, I don't think they can hide. That's bad. Means that they usually are a target for enemy artillery, which is why I tried to hide them. But that was good that I noticed that they were not hidden from view, which means they would have been an even bigger target since I clumped them all together. But this is the plan, and well, usually the plan goes out the window at first contact with the enemy, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Right. I forgot the fact that it's kind of a pitiful army that we're facing, the pitiful remnants of an army. And it's the army from the fishing village that is really the one we need to look out for. I imagine that we could probably blow our way through these bastards just by using the artillery. Which means we gotta keep our eyes out for where the enemy's reinforcements are gonna turn up from. They've entrenched themselves a little bit up here on their hill, and we've blasted quite a few of their men already. You can see the units here from previous battles have not been replenished, and so they are not even close to full strength. It's company size all around for everyone, except for the General's Bodyguard, which is at full capacity. We've got blunderbuss, militia, a few cannons. Cannons most likely gonna get blown to bits, as they already are. They are sending one cannon over there, which I'm not entirely sure what they're doing with that. Mostly we should just keep an eye on the map, as we need to know where those reinforcements are gonna turn up from. Right, so that one is gonna go there, that one is gonna go there, and this one's gonna go there. With these guys in reserve, we got cavalry charging in towards the 1st Brigade. I'll order a halt. They won't be able to break the regiment without support of infantry. So it seems like they're just throwing away this cavalry unit just to stop us a little bit. They're moving up infantry now, but it's kind of too late. And my infantry is now ready to open fire to stop the foot guards, the line infantry guards, from shooting down our own men. I'll send them into the flank. Looks like the enemy is leaving the hill for some god-awful reason. And we are now moving into position to strike him. The enemy deployed its cannon. Interestingly enough, I thought that my artillery would go ahead and focus on the enemy artillery, but that seemed not the case. A small unit of light dragoons tell my men to kind of hold fire, and now open fire as they get closer. And the light dragoon unit is massacred. And so it seems most of the rest of the enemy units, which we are slowly encircling. So far I cannot see. Yes, reinforcement has arrived for the enemy. It's turning up over here, which is good. So it's not turning up behind us or anything. Now, I did ask you guys, because I haven't been able to figure out what my second campaign is going to be. So I asked you guys, and quite a few actually wanted, or what it seemed the top choice you guys had, was me doing the American Revolutionary mod. And play as Britain as well. Thing is though, that's for Empire, and you can't really do 2 Empire campaigns at once. But it's something to keep in mind. Something that you also wanted kind of as a second choice was Napoleon Total War, the Peninsula campaign, possibly with the new version of Napoleon Total War 3. Now, I did have planned that we were gonna do a live stream campaign with that. Unfortunately, my plans to redo my kitchen kind of stopped those plans, although just temporarily. But hopefully, we should be able to do that. I found a partner, and we are going to... We've already tested it. And I was playing as Britain, and he was playing as France. He didn't really like the fact that for the French, it's kind of... you get a lot of mess. You have a lot of territory, but none of it is really that good. It's all kind of rebellious. You have armies all over the place. The thing is, though, now he was a bit reluctant to play the French because of this. But the thing is, every battle we fought, I came up on top. And the thing is, if he had been playing the English, then really what happens is, as the English, or as the British I should say, you really don't have any second chances. If your armies fail in the beginning, then you're done for. Unlike the French, where you can cede ground in the beginning, and you can lose troops and so on, but you control most of Spain, so there's a lot of ground to sort of to fall back on and sort of get back on your feet, which is not the case with the British, which only starts with the territory of Gibraltar as their recruiting base. And I played a little as the French single player just to see how it was, and I could definitely see myself quite quickly destroying an English player. Now the downside is that because of the downside of the French is the French troops are not that good. Not that they're not good in Napoleon, but I think they have been balanced that way just because of how the Peninsula campaign plays. It would be a bit unfair if France starts off with tons of territory and then also have troops that could easily match the British. And it's a lot more interesting, I'd say, to play as or play against a human player. Not that he didn't do the same kind of mistakes or similar mistakes to what the AI does, but you also have this kind of thing where you know, the other player takes advantages of your mistakes in a completely different way than what the AI does. If I make a mistake and move some troops somewhere, the AI is not going to pounce on that and like charge for my guns or anything, or charge for my cannons. So, but in the same kind of way, a human player isn't going to make, or an AI, I haven't really found an AI to sort of recklessly throw all their troops into one attack or something like that, and then, you know, me sort of having quickly sort of surrounding them and destroying them, which happened a few times, and also there was a few other interesting stuff. So I think that could be interesting. The way that we would do that, though, would be in, I think, live stream format would probably suit that best, because we could only really be recording on the weekends. So possibly 1 to 2 occasions on the weekend where we would play that campaign for an hour or so. Live stream it. We've got some cavalry. This is a very low intense fight to start off with. And I imagine this is gonna run on for quite a while. And most of the enemy units have been kinda dealt with, or any kind of serious threat. So what I think we do is the main army, which most of these troops are gonna come from, is the one that's stationed in the fishing village, because that one has fresh troops. So until those arrive, I think I'll just kind of cut it, sort of cut into the material. That unit is actually routing due to the bloody enemy general charging it. I want shrapnel shot. We'll see how that works. Shrapnel shot. You know what? Fire all the guns towards the general. He's dead already, I believe. So it's only his bodyguard. Should probably send my troops away. Try to avoid having them completely blasted to crap by the enemy. Okay, the guns fired way over there for some reason. What is this? Are you actually reinforcing from that side? If that's the case, then that's very bad. Right, at least... Oh, that unit went away. I will reorganize, and once the fighting actually picks up again, I'll meet you back here. I think we'll just watch this one, because this bastard is trying to come around and go for my artillery. I'm gonna send the general over. I think some well-placed canister if they're ready here. Yes. Gun 1! Boom! What? 2 people. Only 1 gun fired, and it only took out like 2 people, which was god awful. Right, anyways, I'll see you back once the fighting picks up. I think I have discovered where the fishing village army is coming from, and it's coming from our flank. We've got 2 good-sized regiments coming in from the flank, and we should reorganize to face them. We've got Fusiliers and others moving in from over there. So I've started to reorganize my army to face them. We have sprung the Grenadier Guards into action. They're holding the flanks. Then we've got some line infantry guards and just normal line infantry holding the center. We'll have the guards advance a little bit here. Another enemy general. They fall like flies all over the place. Got a little square right here. Just, I guess this was the one that killed the general. And then over on the hill, I had advanced quite a lot, as we can see. We've managed to move all the way to the church and the cemetery. I think we can move much further. It's just that I've been preoccupied with trying to deal with the regiments that are coming in from the flank. Unfortunately, my cannons that were stationed there, I wasn't able to move them in time. Gonna go ahead and claim more of the village and then get this brigade over here. As the brigade's coming in from the flank, that should hopefully stop the enemy advancing further forward, which will enable these guys to advance. So I'll be able to stop the enemy from the flank and then advance the front here. Lots of gunfire going back and forth towards the enemy. Even though it's all these smaller companies, it's still taking surprisingly long amount of time for us to defeat them. I guess it's because the units are only aiming for one small enemy unit at a time. I'm looking at some wonderful volleys being fired by the guards. Let's see. I guess the howitzers are not really in a position to fire upon those. The Grenadier Guards have seen off the Haller Regiment, and behind them in square is that Fusilier Regiment, which is called into action for a bayonet charge, which seems foolish since they have to cross quite a bit of ground as they've already lost half the regiment. But then again, ooh, and just as they move forward, the howitzers start firing. They did have that little bit of an advantage for the fact that the Grenadier Guards were reloading, but they are reloading no more. Right, the little square needs to retire. There's no point in having him out there. Also, I do believe one of the cannons were not firing explosive shot. Back onto the hill. Have we not dealt with these units yet? I want you to gain some ground on those. And then maybe we can go through the church. The churchyard, I was about to say, but it's the graveyard, of course. Let's go through the houses. And then I think this flank right here can move further. What we'll do is we'll take 2 to move to deal with the ones coming out there, and 1 to start firing in the flank. This was a kind of bold move because we're getting really close to the enemy. And I think this will be a similarly bold move, as we'll move in between the houses. However, the enemy is just retreating, the Hungarian foot. There's only 22 of them left. There's some Hungarian grenadiers. Let's see, are they able to fire before us? Don't seem like it. They're firing for the regiment to our right. Looked like they were maybe firing, no, they were probably volley firing, but they kind of, they're spaced out. So it kind of looks like they would do fire in advance, or possibly do, what's it called, platoon fire. Now these have no targets anymore. Ooh, you've actually suffered quite a bit. Guard Marines. That's a target for my howitzers. Right, we need to bring up these in support. It's getting cramped as we advance, and then the line infantry is probably best placed over here as the reinforcements of the enemies coming out there. Not that many are coming from up here anymore, but it's still quite strong units. Hungarian militia. And they're broken and are pulling back. They didn't actually lose that many men, but I think they sent in the general and he was the first one to die, so no wonder that the militia broke. We're actually getting pummeled there in the flank by this regiment. So we'll reorganize to be able to lay more guns upon him. just in case, use one brigade of the Lancers moved into position, ready to run the enemy down. Anyways, we should soon be dealt with a lot of the guys on the hill, which would mean that we could bring this one down. Oh, this one's out of shot, is it? I am firing howitzer shots on this guy, so maybe not the best idea to charge. Oh, we got another one that's out of bullets. Move to the back. We've got 3 units out of bullets. You will advance, and then these will advance. And there, even though there's all these small units, there's quite a few actually, militia, and then there's small units. This one looks to be charging, while our unit is not even firing back at them. It's good then that I sent over the line infantry guards to deal with them. Ooh! Got explosive shot right in the mix of that. And the enemy is gonna get absolutely trashed. The Marines are pulling back under heavy artillery fire and musket fire from my men. The enemy was routed. And so was that regiment attacking the Grenadiers. Looks like the Hungarian militia is back, and they've got some Albanian war bands now to aid them. With the enemy totally routed there, these 3 will move like so. This one will gain ground there, and then these 3 will go for the center where... Oh! Our units are not in the best position, as they've been melee charged by the enemy. This one is even looking to possibly retreat. Where is the line regiments? I want them hurry into position, and then we're gonna redraw this one. First, I want to make square, just to get the morale buff. You're gonna pull back already. The units without gunpowder is gonna move forward, be ready to countercharge if necessary. These guys are more or less ready. I want you in column to retreat back. I'm gonna tell these guys to hold fire. Fire at this point. Cover his retreat. Continue running if you please. Looks like we're hitting a few of our own there. But now as this one has fired, this one will cover its retreat more nicely. For some reason they stopped firing with only first rank firing. Alright, we get some flank fire in support. Second regiment is ready to open fire, and these guys are ready again. Ooh, nice volley at close range against the militia. Second one fire, and before third rank fires, this decide to move around a bit. Oh, they broke. Not that that matters much. We've dealt with the enemy mostly up here. Now down here is a little bit worse, because we seemingly are not doing too well. Oh shit, we're out of bullets for these 2 units. I think we need to bring down the Grenadier Guards, and this line infantry unit, this guard line infantry needs to move into position. These guards still have bullets. Make line like so, and you make so. And I think we need to really think about utilizing some of these guard units. some of these Lancer units being brought in to ride down these militias, which are moving in. Right, the enemy is moving up onto the hill. We've got 2 units. Howitzers, stop them. And most of the enemy here has been shot down. So I want these 2 to move out to stop them from getting up onto the hill. And then the rest of these units should see the enemy off. And if the enemy gets close, we can have these guys countercharge down the hill. With my reorganization of the lines, we have now been able to put more effective fire down upon the enemy, and the militia is once again retreating. All across the line, I would like to say. We've got some light dragoons firing from the forest. Are they even within range to deal fire to my my guards? It seems like they are. We're gonna redraw the lines there, and then I want these 3 cavalry units to be stationed in the forest, ready to move down and sweep these guys away if necessary. Most of the enemies here have been swept away. I wonder... we can't fire at these. We can fire at this one. Still 200 men trying to claim the hill. Got a unit there. It's about to flank us. But we'll move up to meet them, and now we're right at the spot where they turn up. And I think what we'll do is we'll bring these 3 all the way here, and then line right across. I think one of these is out of bullets as well. Yes, this one. So only 2 of these still have bullets. Third one is gonna go with the reserves. The thing is, I have not utilized the line infantry guys or the line guard guys. So they should be able to take the front. To hold the front over here for these, as my normal line infantry has used up most of its bullets. The hill is at this point completely secure. And now we can see about seeing off the last of the enemy units. And looks like the trickle of reinforcement is out as well. So as to finalize the enemy's defeat, we'll send in the Winged Hussars. This one will actually turn and go for the Warband, while the other 2 go for the Dragoons. And the Dragoons actually go in to stop our advance on the Warband, but no one stops the Winged Hussars, and they go for that. Imagine that guy flying that, and it would have been a lot nicer if he actually got impaled on his own spike. Oh, watch out. Don't ride onto the spikes. The Warband was clever to cover its retreat. We will not follow them. We can go around that, however, and maybe get them on the way out. Over here is a single regiment of Hungarian militia acting as rear guard for the enemy army. I want the 2 line infantries to take the front against the enemy. And then I want the howitzers to focus in, and then now we can swing down on those Albanians. However, I think they might very well be on their way out already. They're tired, they're wavering, they're under artillery fire, and now the line infantry guard is moving up to blast them to bits. Maybe I should advance even further. And by the first volley, they range. By the second, they're in full sprint down the road. And by the third, we have won the day. And so, we have secured that area and relieved the army to our east, northeast it should be, from quite a bit of enemy reinforcements. So that battle should be a lot easier to be undertaken at this point. And with that said, we should go back to the campaign map and see how the outcome of this battle actually affected the overall war situation. Right, according to this, we deployed 11,000, but that is including the reinforcement that never turned up, or we were never forced to use. However, the enemy's force were completely, everyone was on the field. I'm a bit disappointed that we didn't actually kill more of them. That 2,400 of them actually remains, which I'm quite disappointed in. What I probably should have done is used the winged hussars more to actually ride the enemy down, because 2,400 is quite a lot. Especially since we lost 2,500. Highest killers goes to a line infantry regiment, then grenadier guards, line infantry, so forth. Then line infantry guards did pretty well compared to their losses. So this one lost 48 and killed 260. So I think the line infantry guards did really well. The Grenadier Guards did pretty well as well. Losing 100 men is pretty high though, but it was mostly because I wasn't there all the time to wiggle them about, put them in the right order. I think if we go down, even though the Winged Hussars didn't actually kill that many, I think they have a pretty good, they would probably have a pretty good kill to death ratio. So they lost 9, killed 70. I thought they would kill more, but I used them at the very end, so maybe that's why. This one only killed 1, and this one killed 4. So that's not particularly great. And I think we might have lost some cannons. That first army died, which was good. This one is only a single unit left. This one has, what, a few units, can't really tell, maybe 10, and that's another just a single unit, which is going north to inform the capital of what? No? Where did he go? He went to the mines. The Albanian warband. I guess they could have sent off a guy to tell the capital. Oh, the capital, the peasantry in the capital, they're bankrupt. War weariness is increasing. We might have a revolt in the capital. I've never actually seen the enemy face so many hardships. I mean, look at this. War weariness, -14. Bankruptcy. And then their own reform. We could get a French-style revolution, but in Austria, due to the fact that they're completely just falling apart by the onslaught of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. The general gained some traits, confident general, and steady under fire. We seem to have... we lost one of our artilleries. Gonna replenish that. Next battle is going to be this one, and now we can see that it's a lot better for us. I would say, I don't know if that's 3,000 or 2,000 men. It's really hard to tell. So if it's 1,300 or 2,300. This army is kind of small. So I think this will be a more... I mean, this fight we had here was kind of... it wasn't a real showstopper, was it? This one will be, because I will only have about 5,000 men against almost 12,000 possibly enemies. But with that one done, the Austrians, I mean, if I was Austria, I'd probably throw every single penny I had into some kind of peace resolution, because, I mean, their capital is about to erupt in revolution. And they're losing territory left, right and center. We don't have any more moves to... Oh yes, we have this one. But other than that, I didn't have any moves on this side. We can go over quickly, just check on the Russian situation. So we're still laying siege to Kiev. That's another 3 turns before they have to sally forth out to get us. And they have been losing troops ever since the start, I imagine. So that has been going pretty well. Let's see, do I have moves with that spy? Yes, I do. What I want to see is regions, capital regions. Now we do have these forces here, but those are not that interesting. I want to see capital regions, so I want to see what's going on there. We have another spy here, and I want to see what goes on in Kazan. And then what we really need is a force over here. So I'm recruiting cannons, and we should place these guys in the command of a general, Władysław Wranglewski. He's 51 years old, and he's going to take command of a force that should hopefully dislodge the force over here and take over the army camp, military governor's barracks. The enemy has been burning a lot of ground around in Moscow. My army is replenishing in Moscow. But there's so many small forces all over the place. I wish the Russians would just gather their troops, so I could smite them at once. This looks like the one we're looking for. Lots of cavalry, lots of cannons. They'll probably not make it here in 1 turn, so we can go ahead and have a preemptive strike moving out of the town. We would, however, need some, like, troops to garrison the force. Hopefully soon. We also have the riflemen moving into this area. But it's kind of a mess on the Russian side here. Complete mess. I need more troops to mop the Russians up. Down here it's been a little bit better since we signed a peace treaty with the Georgians. I think I paid them 25,000 gold to abandon the Russians. And I think this would be kind of be an out-resolve. I doubt that they've replenished these troops since last time. So we could just leave a little bit of a garrison and then march out-resolve and get these guys. And then we could jump through here. I don't know if... there is a crossing point here. But it is like a river delta thing. So it'd probably take a while to cross through there. But then we'll be able to take another territory from them. Would leave... One of the problems here, because Russia has troops kind of a little bit all over the place, is that they could easily just go backtrack and like double back and take a place if I leave it very sort of low garrisoned. And they have so much shit out in the middle of nowhere. Like in Napoleon, it kind of ends with Moscow. Like Moscow is the furthest you go. The map kind of ends there. Here it goes on and we got this place and like whatever this is and all the way to this. It looks like just they jumbled a bunch of letters together. Oofa bubbly blue blue. All the way out here. And this area right here is nothing. It's just a desert. However, we will not have to cross that. But I mean, what is the point of all these territories? I mean, it's kind of interesting. Russia, I mean, all of France is done as one single province. And then for some reason they... Maybe these are added. Because I know the mod adds, I think, territories. But what's the point of, like, adding this one right here? All the way in nowhere. But there we have it. Next video we're gonna do this battle of Zagreb. And then I'll figure out what we're gonna do in Russia. Hopefully the Austrian, though, are done for pretty quickly, and then I can move all the troops that I had on the Austrian front, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 armies, 7 armies-ish, that could be moved into Russia, and then Russia would be crushed. You know what we could do, now when I think about it, because to follow up this, since you wanted the American Revolution as the second sort of Empire series, we could follow this up with an Empire series. So after this one, we'd do Empire again, but with that revolutionary mod. Yeah. But then we have this for this episode. So, as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.